broadcast network, Afterbuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. Afterbuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
You're so weird with the buzz.
I love the buzz. What's the buzz?
I get it.
I love the sexual serial killer music. I think Kristen picked this one out.
Yes. This is from the episode, guys, just so you know.
Hopium, and it's called Cut.
Yes. Hey, AfterBuzz fans. Welcome to another after show of MTV's Eye Candy. We're here for Season 1, Episode 10, Anything for You. I'm your host, Courtney Tezeno, and you guys can keep in touch with me at Tezenos on Twitter and Instagram. And you guys can check us out on YouTube if you're not already watching. Make sure you give us 5 stars and subscribe to us and leave your comments because we want to know what you thought about this finale episode. It was crazy.
So crazy.
And then next to me, I want to go ahead and let my co-host introduce herself.
Hey guys, I'm Kristen Elizabeth Snyder. You can follow me at Cinematic Escape.
Cinematic Escape.
Cinematic Escape. Cinematic Escape.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Ryan Malady. Thanks for joining us. You can find me at Ryan Malady on all your social media devices.
Ryan Malady.
Ryan Malady.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Brittany Baldassari. Sorry, I apologize in advance. I have no voice today, but you guys can find me at Brittany Baldy, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And Tinder.
We're a little extra today because this episode was intense. It was a little extra. We are so sad to see the season end, but we're hoping that we pick up for a season 2. So please use that hashtag that everybody has going around, hashtag renew MTV Eye Candy. Like, we have to have a season 2 to see how this story ends. But for this season's episode, let's go ahead and start with Jake's backstory.
Can I actually start by saying one thing real quick?
Of course.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's
Happy
Day.
St. Patty's. We got green.
You guys got, wait. I have green pants.
Green pants.
Well, I guess it has to be showing. But I'm going to go ahead and pinch Brittany systematically throughout the episode because she's not wearing green.
not wearing
I reminded her like 10 times.
I was like, I'm Italian and French Canadian. I'm not gonna rep the Irish, but
You gotta rep everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day.
Everybody is. But I happen to be it on black. But it's fine. Let's go ahead and start with Jake's backstory, and we're going to hear from him later, actually soon. So stick tuned, stick tight. Jake's backstory starts with him as a kid, and he kind of has learned to be crazy from his parents.
I mean, he never had a chance, that poor kid. His
He never had
father
a chance.
is an ex-prisoner, and his mother is a drug addict.
Exactly. So
an insane asylum or what?
Yeah, recovery center. So a drug addict and a prisoner, an ex-con, fall in love. And basically, long story short, Jake is exposed to a lot of things because his mom is on drugs. And we've seen their relationship, his parents' relationship kind of take a downfall because she keeps taking drugs. She's not as beautiful as she was when they first met. And so Jake takes it upon himself to rid her pain by injecting her with
an air bubble.
Yeah, with an air bubble. And that's actually how...
An air bubble. You wouldn't think that an air bubble could do that much damage.
I mean, when you're on drugs for that long.
Well, here's the thing. That's something all nurses do. That's why you always see the little tap. Yeah, to make sure there's no air bubble. Because the air bubble gets in your bloodstream and you're a goner.
And how did the kid know that, thow?
I was trying to, did he like YouTube that or something? How did a little kid like that know to do that?
It's common knowledge, guys.
Yeah. I mean, he couldn't go to YouTube. It seems like it was way back in the day. But,
I mean, maybe he didn't exactly know what he was doing. I mean, he was so little. He looked like, what, about 4 years old?
But he's also like a little prodigy, though.
He was.
At the same time, he's a genius, cyber hacker. He knows. He knows what he's doing.
It was a lot. That's a good point.
At first,
I think he just
thought
pays attention.
He probably was watching his mother over the years injecting herself, and he was probably like, you know what? She's been doing this. I'm just going to end her life the way she's been killing herself.
Happy Mother's Day.
No, not Happy Mother's Day. Parents, your kids are watching what you're doing, so please be careful. Lead by example. We see that Jake is crazy because of that.
Don't be doing it.
Well, at first I was going to say, poor kid, he's such a victim. He watched his mom get murdered and then his dad commit suicide and all this. But then, you get like a little Dexter complex.
Yeah.
Like it turned him into a serial killer. But then we find out that
he actually killed his mom.
So he was messed up from the beginning.
He was, and I think it's probably genetics, because clearly you're coming from two people who are, one's a drug addict, one's gone to prison from assault. I mean, it's almost inevitable that something was going to be crazy.
But what a romantic story.
It was not romantic.
He saved her. They ran off together.
Yeah, it was kind of a romantic story because they belong together, but we see that ended terribly. Ugh.
He's still the sexiest serial killer alive, so I'm not gonna argue with that.
No, we're all gonna argue with that. What? Sexy does not override crazy.
I mean, we're all a little crazy, right?
They go hand in hand, really.
No, not crazy enough to kill my mom. Never. No.
Not to do that.
But one quote I thought was great from this, and we see why Jake has been saying he needs to find the one, he's searching for perfection, is because he listened to his dad's last words, basically saying, you're going to find her, she's beautiful, and she will be perfect. So his idea of what perfect is that, nothing like his mother, because she's beautiful before, she let drugs ruin her, so all these flaws that Jake is finding in these people, he didn't see that in Lindy, and that's why she's the perfect one for him.
She does have a flaw, though.
She does later. She has a flaw, but not an actual physical flaw like we've seen with the other people.
Right.
We find out that Lindy's flaw is her sister, and we'll get into that more. But or we can get into it now.
No. I was going to say, he did find a flaw, but one that he saw that he could fix.
Yeah.
So the physical flaws, you can't really fix them, so just terminate the girl. But if it's a psychological one, he understands psychological issues.
That's a good point.
He can help her out,
He's learning how to compromise. He can compromise a little bit.
I could take someone with a little bit of a sister complex.
No, that's so subjective. Like, why would, physical beauty, your attraction to someone, that's very subjective. Why was Lindy considered perfect based off of just her physical beauty compared to everyone else?
Maybe because he had something to do with the flaw that she did have. Her sister gone missing. Maybe he had something to do with that. We saw towards the end. We can get to that, which is very confusing. I'd like to touch on it.
It is very. Let's go ahead and touch on it. We basically see that Jake is having an issue with. Not an issue. He's been trying to find Sarah for her, and it looks like he actually has something to do with it. So, what did you guys think about that?
I don't think that he did, actually.
How could he not? Do you guys
because
remember?
the video? That's a good point.
We didn't see the full video, but did you guys see the setup that he did with the van and her having to jump over things? He had the actual van that Sarah was kidnapped in.
Sophia?
Yeah.
The Sophia situation?
The Sophia situation, yeah. That's the exact car.
But he compromised the cyber unit, and they even say in this episode he might have someone working for him in the cyber unit.
They say it could be a bug on the inside.
The conglomerate.
So I don't know. Maybe in season 2 we'll find out that somebody was working with him, or it's like he got all this information from the case files, so he could have recreated it from the case files.
That is true. Because he's smart that way. He could have just dug up the files himself and just recreated it.
He could have, but it just was too spot on.
But why would he give her a flaw? Like, he says your flaw is your sister being kidnapped. Like, why would he give her that flaw? He wouldn't be the kidnapper who gave her that flaw. He wants her to be perfect. You wouldn't give someone a flaw just so you could fix it. I don't think.
Well,
I don't think either.
Lindy went with Jake to Hart Island to find her sister. Now, we didn't find her sister, but we did find that her sister was taken there. Towards the end, we found out that she was taken there in that van, but she wasn't too upset about it.
Well, I don't know if she was taken to Hart Island, but I don't think so. She was just like, it just seemed like the van didn't go that far, and then she got out.
Dropped her off, and it seemed like a kidnapping, but this was planned ahead of time, is what I thought when I saw her get out the car. And was that her boyfriend? Can we verify that was her boyfriend?
Definitely.
That, picked her up and everything. We're already towards the end, you guys, but
we'll backtrack.
It was just so good. So we'll backtrack later, but
she says now Lindy and everyone will be safe. So
yeah. So I feel like someone plotted beforehand in this situation, and when she got out of the car and we find out that she could possibly be in their hometown, I feel like the dad has something to do with this that we don't know. Like, why is Lindy not answering these letters? Sarah apparently may be back in her hometown. around. So I feel like maybe that has something to do with her dad, or I don't know. What did you guys think?
Maybe you're right. Maybe she didn't get taken to the island, because how can a van drive to an island? Right?
Great point, Ryan.
Maybe this guy Jake is pulling all this stuff, maybe to help Lindy figure out this mystery. Maybe he is trying to solve it for her, because that is her flaw.
I think he is trying to help her solve the mystery.
He's got the sign. He's got all the information.
Because even what you were mentioning earlier, why would he point out that flaw? And I think it's because he's trying to get her completely perfect, fix the situation, because she is not flawed physically. So when he makes her recreate that Sophia situation, he's thinking to himself, all right, if he could save Sophia, maybe she'll almost forget, not that she's going to forget, but forget that her sister was harmed. Because remember he said that? He's like, okay, I'm going to make you recreate this Sophia situation. Look, you have this amount of time to go save her right now.
But there's something whack about thinking that would help anyway.
It is. And
We're going to have to ask him.
We are. By the way, did you guys, he's such a good weirdo. Like in the scene when he's like, go get her, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, he said like hurry, like and like crazy. And when he was down in the grave,
I looked and he was like making out themselves in the mirror.
in the mirror,
I'm like, that could be me.
No, you're not a narcissist. Let's hope you're not.
No.
she wanted to be the mirror.
I'll give you the mirror.
Oh my God.
Mirror on the wall. He's the craziest one of them all.
Oh my God.
Oh Jesus.
You're nuts. You're picking up stuff from Jake. But
that was crazy though. Honestly, when he was talking to himself in the mirror though, it seemed like a record on repeat, like this broken record of what his dad and his mother had said to him when he was younger. Like that's what makes us crazy. I think we hold on to certain words that have influenced us in our lives, and it happens to all of us. It's not just Jake. It just happens that his is crazy, his record.
Yeah.
But like we all string together a certain amount of words that we've been told throughout our life, and it plays over and over in our heads. So I could really relate to that moment.
And then one of the most profound things Jake said was that pain festers and makes monsters. And I feel like he's held on to so much pain over the years. It's really made him who he is. No matter how smart he is, no matter how well ahead he's gotten in life, he still has this flaw where his parents have pretty much instilled in him from his childhood. So I think the reason that he keeps on saying that Lindy, the whole thing, this whole season he's been saying stuff about pain and Lindy, I feel like I don't even know where that comes from. I'm trying to like figure it out as I'm talking, but
do you guys think there's a chance that he's gonna actually go to prison? Because he's a friggin' lawyer.
He will go to prison.
You think?
I think he will.
He may have like erased all the evidence.
That's true, but I think he's definitely going to be in prison. I don't think he's going to be there long. If we see a season 2, like
he's going to break out somehow.
He has a team of people on the outside that can help him.
I don't know. I think he's going away. I mean, he did.
You think he's going away after all he's done?
He attacked the lieutenant. She identified him.
But it's a he say she says thing.
Yeah.
Thang. And that doesn't sit well in court.
But what would my thing is, what would Jake's alibi be in this situation? I mean,
if there's not evidence, he's a mastermind though. They couldn't find him up until this moment, and they only found him because it's he says, she says at this point.
Well, they found him because Lindy pretty much outed him. I think George found a way to hold on. So when George found a way to get Jake identified and like put it in everybody's phone, like the killer's in front of you, I felt like a part of Babylon reopened, or it never actually closed, because it just reminded me so much of that ad on Babylon.
It wasn't. It was just the fact that Tommy and Yeager, they ended up giving George that access to all the city security cameras and all the city technology of the city.
Have hacked them.
Yes.
All right. Well, we need to get into a lot of Jorg's hack highlights, but do we have a caller, Steven?
Yes.
All right.
He's on the line.
Perfect.
All right.
Is this Ryan?
Hey, guys.
Hey. Hey. We've been talking a lot about you, obviously.
You guys doing?
Oh wait, this is not Jake. Who is this? Where are you calling from?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Johan.
Hi.
How's it going, guys?
Where are you from?
How are you guys?
We're great.
Very well.
We thought you were the killer calling in. Jake, Ryan Cooper is supposed to be calling us, so we thought you were him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Do you have a question?
Yes, actually, how long did it take to film the last episode?
Well,
questions that need answers.
Sorry, guys, we got another call. I think it's him. Give me one
Okay,
second.
well, stay tuned. We actually might be able to answer that
We're on
question
the
for you
case,
because
yeah.
we will
Ryan
ask.
is
Yeah.
actually our next caller.
We'll ask
So
Jake.
stay tuned, and we'll be able to answer that question.
Is this Ryan on the line?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Oh, look at that creepy killer voice.
Oh, hello.
We just actually had another caller call in, and his name was Johan, and he's from Florida, and he wants to know how long it took to film the last episode.
Actually, we were cross shooting 2 episodes at once, 9 and 10. So we actually shot the most of episode 10 before we shot episode 9, which was kind of interesting.
Oh, wow.
We actually shot the very last scene where we were in the cyber crimes unit in the interrogation room. Tommy comes in and interrogates me, and that was one of the very first scenes shot, even on the 9 and 10 block. So all up, I would say and we were shooting about 2-week blocks for 2 episodes, so a week roughly for 1 episode. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot of filming.
I mean, I bet that's like 15 plus hours. So to consider that's a lot of time.
We were having some very long days at times.
So
That was great. It was,
I don't feel so bad about putting you in the hot seat when you were here.
The killer.
yeah, that was you were like cybercrimesing it yourself, digesting it, breaking it apart. I was definitely in the hot seat and backpedaling and trying to flip it back on you. I didn't know what to say.
No, you were great. And you know what? After you were on our show, even the fans were still saying, okay, it's not Jake. And they were actually mad at me for suggesting that it was you.
Yes, I love my psycho.
So they were
fans.
on your
They're the
side.
best.
Well, you've pretty much
Yes.
crushed a lot of dreams now, so that sucks.
Yep.
What did you do to sort of prepare? I know you didn't find out till later that you were the killer, but I mean, where'd you get your influences to actually break into that character?
You know what? I actually knew from the very first day, and that was a lot of fun, keeping it from the whole cast.
Oh,
Until
wow.
we had the table read for episode 9.
Wow.
So you had to hide it
So
from the cast.
we had many a late night discussion about who the killer potentially was, and maybe it was, so it was really fun to continue to play the character of them not knowing but me knowing.
Yeah.
It was quite an interesting experience.
Did you slip up to anyone?
Yeah.
Like, who did you slip up and
Beg your
tell?
pardon?
Who did you slip up and tell? Like no one? Like not even?
Nobody.
Oh my God.
Wow, you're good.
You're good.
I'll never tell.
So did you
I
study
don't
any
kiss and tell, baby. I
villains?
don't kiss and tell. No, it was it was really great. We had well, I can't count how many times we had discussions about who the killer would or could be, or why it could be someone, or even the directors would get each of the characters on a specific take to kind of give a shady look at the end of something, and it was all designed to keep everybody guessing. But I think Christian Taylor, I just said to him, I said, look, because knowing the audition that he had me do and the way he wanted to test me in the audition, I just had that feeling, that I knew who I was playing and what I was playing, and I just said, look, if I am the killer, just let me know so I can
Prepare.
so I can prepare, just start to figure out and hide behind awkwardness, or hide behind the nerves, or just the self making him seem sweeter and nicer than and humbler than maybe he really was behind the facade.
I find that so fascinating. Sorry, I find it fascinating that the cast didn't even know who the killer was.
Yeah.
You didn't know the whole story as a cast. It kind of made it more real. It helped you act your roles. I have a question about your character, Ryan. This is Ryan, by the way. I love your name.
Thank you. Thank you. I've come to love my name too.
Good Irish name.
And I kiss myself in the mirror every day.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Kiss me, I'm Irish.
Oh God.
All right, I had a question about your character. Your character, Jake, is from Australia. Did they do that for you? Because after they cast you after the fact, or was that a role that was written in already?
You know, I believe the original character was American, and as we found out in episode 9, I believe it was, or early in 10, Jake never really was Australian, and he might even be going under a false name. So there's a lot of backstory and things to dive into if we get the second season. And you know, I went in and I auditioned with neutral American accent, and then they came back and had changed things around to facilitate the Australian. So it made my job a lot easier.
I bet.
Yeah.
So we're sort of discussing that we're not sure that in season 2 if your character would even end up in prison, considering you're a lawyer.
Yeah. I feel like you have to have some good people on the outside, like a good alibi after this.
Well, he's pretty much. You know, he's kind of eliminated most of the only person he was with was Lindy, and she was out cold. So unless they're finding DNA and things like that, then really he does have a good alibi.
Hey,
what about Shaw? Catherine Shaw?
Oh yeah, Catherine Shaw
identified you, but
Catherine Shaw said it was me, but was there, I don't know
any evidence?
If she actually saw it, or if she just heard my voice, or what was it that she thought it was.
So you're screwed as of now.
Innocent until proved guilty. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey Ryan, we just want to know really quickly too, because we were discussing it earlier before you called in. Were you trying to fix the flaw of Lindy and her sister with the whole Sophia situation? Were you trying to make her perfect by reenacting her sister getting abducted so that she could try to forget that situation, or what was the deal with that situation?
Yeah, I crafted it in my mind as that her insecurity of not having saved her sister meant she felt inferior, and she, you know, it gave her drive to want to keep searching for her sister, but at the same time it gave her this complex of not being good enough, and by giving her the opportunity to save Sophia was then a way of fixing her, or helping her see in herself who she was and what she could really be, even though she knows she's a badass. There's that element of insecurity in her character, underlying that, and I don't know how far you want to take that. That's kind of what I do.
Yeah, it was very interesting in a crazy way.
It really was. Now, Ryan, I wanted to know, you obviously have that moment in the mirror where you're kissing yourself, so that shows that you're a narcissist. But I wanted to know. Are you having any? The reason that you're helping Lindy, is it because you're guilty about killing your mom? Because we find out later that you actually lied about killing her. So is all of this guilt that you're having, are you trying to get rid of that by helping Lindy?
I didn't think of it like that. You could be right in the long run of the story. I only know kind of what I've placed in it. I think looking at Jake, he seems. I don't think he's so concerned about the guilt. I think it's there, but I think what overpowers that is his desire for Lindy and to be loved. That lost love of the mother that maybe wasn't there as a child. Yes, definitely very, very strong. and something that I think he's probably continuing to search for. At the same time, that love from Lindy is obviously the most present power in his drive for satisfaction or affirmation, or that's how I see it.
All right.
Ryan, a lot of us were wondering how much you had to do with the kidnapping. People are saying you're the one who kidnapped the sister and sort of set this all up, considering you had video of her getting dropped off. And some people think the kidnapper is separate. Do you have any commentary you can give us on that?
You know, I have no clue as to what the backstory is. I get the feeling that this is stuff that I've found out about and for Lindy since meeting her. But I could be wrong.
Yeah,
you know, we might just have to pump renew MTV Eye Candy on Saturday.
We already did.
We get a green light.
We're like pushing for that hashtag renew MTV Eye Candy for sure. But I think one of the reasons we were really like is because we saw the actual van that Sarah was kidnapped in, and it's on an island. So how else would he have been able to get that? Like, did someone just throw this van away? Like, either you're working with someone or you did it. So we're hoping.
Yeah, how'd you get that van?
Yeah,
is that the same van?
He created his own.
Well, I honestly I didn't go and like triple check if it was the exact same van or not. It could have been planted there. Maybe I touched it. Maybe I didn't. I don't know.
Oh gosh.
You are a lawyer.
Yeah, you are.
Who is your favorite villain?
Ooh. I mean, I love the Joker.
Oh, I love him too.
Oh, Heath Ledger, the Joker.
I saw a little bit of that.
A little bit.
I can see that in yes. In that one scene, you were definitely inspired by the Joker.
Which scene? Sorry, I missed a bit of that. That didn't was crackling a bit.
Oh, yeah, when you're telling her to go save Sophia. Hurry, hurry, hurry.
Oh,
Yeah, I feel like you got some inspiration with that scene.
You're losing it, right?
I think he is a very, very interesting villain, honestly, I really don't like to kind of go in necessarily imitating someone. I like to try and do a little bit of background and read a few psych things about how, and then interpret that as it kind of comes out, using them as a background as opposed to kind of picking a villain or another actor and imitating, if that makes sense.
Sure. It does.
But,
Alrighty. Well,
All right.
Ryan, we love talking to you every time, and I'm sure the fans love this interview.
thank you so much for your time, and I apologize for keeping my mouth shut last time. But
You were awesome.
that was what we had to do.
Yes.
And you can follow Ryan Cooper at Fry Cooper. Is that correct, Ryan?
Fry Cooper on Twitter and Mr. Ryan Cooper on Instagram.
All right. So we'll keep in touch with him, fans. Thanks
so much,
Thank
Ryan.
you so much, wonderful girls, and buddy, I will chat to you guys again soon.
Yes.
Sounds good. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Later, babe.
Oh, you're gonna make some people mad, Brittany. So I feel like we got a lot of good answers from Ryan on how things went with Jake. So that was really good.
really helpful.
Mhm, very helpful. Tied a lot of knots.
Yeah, that was really insightful. Everything, how long the episodes shoot for, to how the cast doesn't even know exactly where the twists and turns are going to go. Keeps them fresh, keeps them real.
I've actually never heard of that. So Christian must be doing it a little different. I like that.
Doing things right.
Yeah,
Christian
very
Taylor.
great. We love you, Christian.
Right?
Okay, so let's get into the rest of the episode. I know we touched on a lot of the big moments, but let's get into Lindy's mission mission to find Sarah. So obviously we find out, she finds out at the graveyard that it's been dug up, and that's the moment that she finds out that Jake is the killer, all of that stuff. Now, what did you guys think of the moment when she had to save Sophia? Did you guys think that was effective at all, or was it necessary?
I thought that it just kind of proved what a nutcase Jake was, because he thought that that would somehow heal that wound.
Right?
So
I think I understand where he was coming from, though, because he wanted her to get over the complex of the sister missing in the abduction, but he just did it in such an extreme way that I feel like that's just messing her up even more, but he doesn't realize that.
Yeah. And then the way that Tessa had to die, and the way they found the phone,
And her
stuck in her
gory.
head.
That was really gory. I wasn't feeling that at all.
I remember Ryan was watching it and he was like, they just messed up that whole crime scene. They're not going to do anything. They just ripped the phone out.
I know, I'm watching this. I'm
They're being
like,
the worst cops ever.
put some gloves on. What are you?
Maybe you have a calling here.
Take some photos.
The prince. Oh gosh. So they're gonna say that they killed
That's
her.
true.
I don't know.
Dude, wouldn't it be crazy if Jake turned it around on Tommy, since he's been touching all the evidence?
Right?
He could be framing him. He could be.
That would be crazy.
Well, he's a smart guy. All right, so
Season 2. Season 2.
Season 2. So Jake's plan was to get Lindy to watch that tablet, that video, you know, of what happened to her sister. Which what we saw, what happened was she pulled up in the van, she got out, she met with this ominous boyfriend-looking guy, said, okay, good, now Lindy will be safe, and drove off. So that just raises a bunch more questions, but I think that he meant for her to see that, to know that, okay, your sister's okay, but you know what, you're also still a little screwed up, so why don't you go save your friend?
Yeah,
You know?
I can see that. Now, back to the tablet. For some reason, I feel like whatever he has put on that tablet, either it has a tracking device to where he'll know where she is while he's taken or whatever the case is. I think he's smart. Or I think some of the things we see on there, he has been so known to put different words with mouths. Like, he could have easily put someone else's voice on there. So it's like hard for me to believe everything on that tablet, to be completely honest.
Well, what about that network that they
Yeah.
found? And he created his own, like, her, if you will.
His own Siri.
Yeah, his
killer
own Siri.
Yeah.
Like Jarvis. You know, I was thinking when they got down there, and she's like, oh, is this where he's been doing all this stuff? All this hacking? Wireless hacking? And it made sense as soon as it was an artificial intelligence program, because this thing is doing what Jake's mission is. Doing the work for him. He set it up, and this system, whatever it's called, knocks him down.
So smart.
I'm wondering how many years it took him to do that, because it's been a course of 3 years that she's been missing, and we're just now hearing from him within like 3 years later. So can we say like it's been that long for him to get this plan going?
He's probably been working on something like this his whole life. They said that his undergrad was computer science and artificial intelligence. So.
And then there were 4 people missing during his undergrad. So you think he was like testing it out to see if he could really be a flirtable
for
killer?
sure. I think so. We should have asked him about that. No.
Right? Oh, you guys are great. Well, maybe we can tweet out that and ask him.
Yes.
There's definitely a bunch of mysteries.
There are.
And hopefully season 2 can answer some of those.
Definitely.
Calling the Christian, season 2.
He's in India right now.
Oh my God. Photos. It looks like he's having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The like temple thing.
Yeah, he's having a good time. Now, Sophia being stabbed for me really hurt, because I didn't think they were going to make it to her in time. And even though we see that she's in the hospital bed, I feel like, is she in a coma? Is she going to make it? So I'm scared to see if Kiersey's going to make it to season 2. But that's just...
We just saw Connor talking to her and talking about going to Italy or something like that, right?
He's trying to be optimistic.
Yeah.
So I want to see how severe those stab wounds were, because she got about 2, and like she's gushing out. So I hope she didn't have any like long-term damage from that.
To bring it back to if Jake is going to be prosecuted or not, there you go. There's another one that they can get him for.
But I mean, how can they tell?
He stabbed
Unless
me.
there's DNA.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're telling me if I'm walking down the street and some guy comes up and stabs me and Brittany identifies him, I identify him, it's not enough?
This is TV.
This is TV. The only way I could. this is real like CSI. The only way they could catch this kid is if the area where Sophia's body was and the blood and everything is, if they were able to go back to that spot and like see that it was in, get the DNA, see that it was in Jake's area, he could be a suspect, but he didn't have any cameras. And Lindy's the only witness. So DNA is not enough. We know that she bled out, but we don't know who stabbed her unless they found the knife.
And the knife with his handprints or something.
And I think he had gloves on. He's smart.
He is.
Yeah.
And, well, who knows? I mean, Jarvis. I'm just going to call him Jarvis. I know that's the computer system in Iron Man, but it sounded kind of like Jarvis. Hello, eye candy.
Well, I can tell you that it's credited as Hunter, who is actually Scott White.
Oh, yeah.
If you look at the eye candy credits, they called him Hunter.
Hunter. Ooh.
He's a voiceover
what an appropriate
actor.
Name.
Yeah. Do you want to get into that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So we were supposed to have Scott in studio, but he has some other things going on, always doing amazing things. Scott White is actually the voiceover actor and the killer's voice. So he has a message for eye candy fans. Listen to this one.
Here comes.
Hello to everyone at Afterbuzz TV. I'm so sorry I couldn't make it to the taping today. I hope it's a good show. Kristen, I know my eyes are on Lindy, but maybe you could be my backup. Are you the one?
That was great, right?
Oh my gosh.
And I think we have a picture of Scott White on the screen right now.
Oh my goodness.
You need that clip.
I saved it to my phone. He sent it to me. He texted it to me and he's like, I'm so sorry I can't come, but here's something for you guys.
Oh my gosh.
great.
What would it be like dating the killer?
I mean, I'll let you guys know.
That's great. We should have him do the voiceover for season 3 of Are You the One?
Oh.
Are you the one?
Are you the one? That's, I can't do it. That was good. Thanks, Scott.
That was pretty great.
That was awesome.
That was pretty great.
So everyone was wondering if it was a filter or what it was this season. So it was actually a voiceover
and
actor.
a pretty darn good one. He's a great guy in person.
But
We met him last week.
Yes, he was awesome, and also that's sort of like, I guess his character is that fake intelligence that Jake created. So that computer or whatever, I think that's his voice.
The computer obviously knows a lot.
Yeah, he knows everything.
He knows everything.
Like the
What
fact
do you
that-
want to know, Lindy?
Yeah, chapter 1. I was like, oh my gosh, you know too much. But it'll be interesting to see if they actually get all that evidence, because now that Jake's in prison, maybe that could be his alibi.
Well, Lindy stuck in her little hard drive right before Sophia got stabbed.
But she didn't get it.
She didn't get
No,
it?
she didn't get it because it was still downloading, and then he had already grabbed her in a chokehold. So
Well, it seems like a bunch of mysteries got wrapped up, like who the killer was, and now he's in custody. But there's a bunch more mysteries and questions that are raised from this whole ending. Like, where's Lindy's sister and what's her deal? What's this artificial intelligence program, and what other kind of juice and information does it have on these other murders and other things going on? There's obviously more people involved.
definitely.
And I think...
Before we get into predictions, wait. I want to talk about George, you guys. Please. George, he had so many hacktivist highlights this episode. He was like, this was like his episode. He was one of the things he said was like giving crack to a baby when he got the thing that run like the whole place. And the one, my personal favorite, because I'm a huge Beehive fan, or Beehive member, he said to Yeager when he was trying to interfere, this is Destiny's Child, I'm Beyonce, and you're one of the other two.
You're one of the other two.
And I was just like, he was like, get to work, single lady. That was awesome.
Get to work, single lady.
Yeah, so I think George brings the funny and the lighthearted part every episode, and this was like his moment. So I was so happy to see that they did that for
Yeah, and it's because of him that they even found Sophia and Lindy, because he found Tessa's phone.
Harvey keeps killing it.
He keeps killing it,
awesome.
and we can credit him to actually saving Lindy at the end at the train station. So kudos to Harvey.
Was it an airport? And then
was
she gets on a train later on, but
No, it was a train.
It was a train.
It was a train. I
was so
put
confused.
airport down, and then you said
okay.
train, and I'm like, yeah, it's
They were going to Utica, right? They were going to Utica, I think, New York. Isn't that what it
I
said?
don't remember her
You are a
hometown.
detective.
Okay, I only know that.
like,
You
I
get them all.
only know that because I went to college at Ithaca College, which is near Utica, and I remember always seeing those signs when I was driving to college.
Yeah, you're the only one that noticed that. I was like, you had 2020 to see that their pass. I'm like, whoa.
I loved Harvey, I gotta say.
He did
Yeah.
Great job. He's great comic relief, pulls it all together. Behind every great Lindy is a great George. He did a great job.
best friend that kicks ass. Now,
Yep.
When he gets slapped by Connor.
yeah. He's had so so many freakouts, but that's what like kept all the comedy of this episode. Now, the moment that I was waiting for as a Tindy member was when Lindy was getting kidnapped by Jake, and she says that she loves him, and we all don't believe her because we know she doesn't love a crazy guy. Let's hope she doesn't. I hope she does not love him, but she did that so that Tommy actually wouldn't get shot, and then Tommy says, "I will never stop looking for you," and I thought that was romantic.
Oh, Tommy.
I thought that was a great moment. I think all the
romantic,
Tindy
yeah.
Well, I loved
unnecessary.
I loved when they were.
But I got this. I got this under control. Thanks.
But he never stopped looking, even when her identity was wiped. So.
Well, I loved when they were like texting or instant messaging, and then we actually got to see that scene, like what would be happening in their heads,
Yeah.
and like him seeing her again.
That was very artistic.
Yeah.
They are taking, I mean, I love how the show takes those kinds of liberties, you know, because we're so connected virtually nowadays that it's hard to illustrate the kind of connections that people have.
Yeah, we can't
And
just
with
have
this
like
show,
word
they
bubbles.
do that. I think it's really, really great. I hope they do more.
The saddest part about it is that at the end, when Tommy says that he's sorry, we don't get a response from Lindy. So that like sucked.
She's out.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Do you think she likes Tommy still, or will ever forgive him?
There's no room for closure on the last episode.
I think that's what they're going to leave it for season 2.
Exactly.
Everything's going to start to come together again.
They are going to come together again, but I'm just sad to see that she didn't at least say like okay or thanks.
Maybe
or,
it'll be like the Vampire Diaries, like Lindy, Jake, and Tommy.
I mean, it could be.
Or like Twilight, Jake, Bella, and Edward.
Hey, but last time my guy didn't win. Tommy has to win.
Hermione.
3's best, apparently.
3 is not a crab.
Yeah.
Katniss, Peeta.
Oh.
Too many people to name.
Well, Liam's his real name, but oh my god, what's his name in the movie? And I was just watching it.
Brittany,
Gale.
Liam Hemsworth.
I don't think the love triangle is going to end at all in season 2, but I really hope that that there isn't any huge conflict, like one dies as far as like Tommy and Jake, because now they're in the same city and Lindy's like doing her own mission. So I really hope Jake doesn't get to Tommy and like slaughter him.
I kind of wanted to see that scene though, where it at least came close.
A shoot off?
Not a shoot off, but like I wanted to see Jake and Tommy go at it. I just did. You interpret that how you want.
I didn't want to see it. I don't think it could happen any other way than a shootout. It couldn't happen any other way but then a shootout. So I definitely.
Or I mean, like he could have kidnapped him. And like done what he did and like held him hostage for Lindy to come and find him. That would have worked better for me than having Sophia hostage.
Yeah.
Is if he kidnapped Tommy and Lindy had to save Tommy.
And I don't see Jake with a gun.
She wouldn't. To be completely honest,
That'd be a bummer for Tommy, huh?
I don't think she would save Tommy.
Thanks for that.
She wouldn't save Tommy. She wouldn't save Tommy. But go ahead. Let's go around and just say some quick predictions for season 2 before we end.
Okay.
Your Afterbuzz TV predictions.
I like that. I mean, there's no
With the
flashing
lasers.
lights, but yeah. I mean, obviously, I think Sophia's gonna make it out okay. I think she'll survive to hunt another killer. I think Tessa's probably dead. Likely.
Oh yeah, we can say she's dead.
She's pretty.
I'm joking. Obviously, she's dead. I don't know. I mean, obviously, we need backstory about Lindy's father. We didn't get any information on that, but she's going to Utica, so she's going to probably go back to her house, and I think she'll reunite with her sister eventually. And I don't think Jake is going to prison.
I think Jake's going to prison, but I think he has someone outside that can like get him out. But he's gonna sit there for a little while. Now I think that Tommy is actually on his way to try to figure out where she is, and I think Harvey can pretty much tell her where she's going. So like you said, we'll see what happened with the dad and the sister. That's the main thing I want to see. Like, please just show us that Sarah's alive. That's all I want.
Yeah,
she still might not be, but I predict that she is. I predict that there's a conglomerate of people that, you know, are working around or with Jake in some way. That artificial intelligence thing. Who killed Reese? We don't know.
Yeah,
That's
that
still
was
a
another
mystery.
question.
And, you know, Lindy's, you know, she's learned a lot. She's gone through a lot, and she's going to come out in season 2 even stronger, faster, better than ever.
Oh, yes. I think so too. I definitely want to see more of Sarah. I want to learn more about the dad and that backstory because we didn't really learn a lot. And I don't want to see Jake get thrown in jail. What the hell? We need him back.
You're biased.
Just because he's cute. He's
crazy. He's crazy. Let him go.
We can fix him, right, Brittany?
They don't know that he's a murderer, and we can fix him.
We can't fix him. He needs to go to an asylum. He needs to
He's
go
just
to
got a playroom. asylum. That's it.
No, he needs
It's
to
no
go to
big
an
deal.
asylum like
He's
his
a
mother.
serious lawyer.
Okay, guys. Okay. Well, you guys can keep in touch with me at Teznos on Twitter and Instagram. We love this episode, and we really hope that they get a season 2. So help us by using the hashtag #RenewEyeCandy, and let us know what you thought about this episode using the hashtag #ABTVEyeCandy.
Guys, I'm Kristen Elizabeth Snyder. You can follow me at Cinematic Escape or go to cinematicscape.com for my blog.
Thanks, guys, so much. It's been a blast. I'm Ryan Malady. You can follow me at Ryan Malady.
And I'm Brittany Baldy. You guys can follow me at Brittany Baldy and check out tonight's episode of The Challenge. And next week is the finale of The Challenge. Check it out. Woo, woo, woo.
All right, we will see you guys for season 2. Let's
Yeah, season 2. Fingers crossed.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Afterbuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the Afterbuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterbuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of Afterbuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.